Hey everybody, Greg Marra here, and Victory Amps asked me if I wanted to do a video for the Sheriff 22 amp, and I said absolutely. I've been a fan of Victory since I think about 2016 when I had the RD1 amp, a little red amp, and I've been a fan of theirs ever since. Huge fan of Martin Kidd and his designs. And one thing I have to say right off the bat with Victory amps is it seems like you're always at the mercy of the way the amp was designed, and you sound like that amp. No matter what guitar you play through, it always sounds the same. With Victory, I feel like I can dial in frequencies that I want and dial out frequencies that I don't want. Today I'm using the Sheriff 22. I'm going through the Sur Reactive Load box. Obviously we're using IRs, and I just have a basic IR that is nothing too complex. It's a 4x12. So the way that I use amps is I don't really use channel switching. I don't really use a clean sound ever. I just basically go for 100% what my gain is going to be for my lead sound, and then I use pedals in front, and I'll set the amp up so that when I roll off my volume and I take my boost pedal off, that I'll have my clean sound, or as clean as I want it to be. Like I'm saying, I really never go for a full clean sound. So I'm going into channel 2 of this amp. Channel 1 sounds fantastic, but like I'm saying, I like to keep it at max distortion when I'm doing my leads, and then just back off from there. I sort of just do the deductions from there. So my preamp gain is just about 1 o'clock. Trebles at about 1 o'clock as well. Middle's at about 12, bass is about 9 o'clock, presence is about 1 o'clock, master's at 12 o'clock. And like I said, I'm going through channel 2. So the guitar I'm playing is kind of a mutt. It's kind of a parts caster. This is a Mighty Mite neck, and this is a prototype Sully pickup. This is a Duncan single coil. Nothing special about it. It's a piece of mahogany, maybe $300 max. Got some good tuners on there. That's about it. So forgot to mention I've got the EP booster in front. So I use that for, just a little bit more gain in the front end. Without it, the amp sounds like this. All right, so, it's, good enough. That's exactly what I would want. So, I can chunk out with that. For a vintage amp, that's exactly how it should sound. So adding in the EP booster at about 12 o'clock. Yeah, so you're there. So let's just talk about how to roll that back now, because we're at 100%. So the way I get my sounds is I keep the amp exactly the same. I want it as much as I can possibly get out of it when I'm ready to get the most out of it. So one way I might do that is let's just start by backing off the volume. I mean, obviously this is very simple. So if I wanted to clean up the tone, that's bridge pickup. So if we combine that, now you're into like more sparkly. And then pull off the EP booster. So let's go all the way up to 100% again. Click on the EP booster. So you're there, so I kind of like that. I kind of like having all the controls on the guitar. I don't have to do any amp switching. I don't have to, have a million pedals. I just use one pedal. And if I want to click it off, I usually leave the EP booster on all the time, but if I want to click it off, I can. So doing that, I might do that for the single coil tone. So when you pull the EP booster out of the front end, you know, you've got as much clean as I would ever need. So here's a combination of the neck pickup and the bridge with this coil here. Roll that off a little bit. That's up to 100%, so that's the bridge pickup all the way up. So depending on how, you know, hard or light you pick, you're gonna be able to get there. So anyway, Sheriff 22, it's really a nice sounding amp for like a vintage sound, you know, like more of like the early, I would say like the early 70s, like late 60s, early 70s. But if you use a pedal in front, I mean, you can full on get some other sounds like late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, man, it's doing everything that you want it to do. And I think the more that you play through any given amp, or the more you practice, the stronger your left hand is. You're actually going to back off the gain. So having more of like a vintage sounding amp that doesn't have, you know, gobs of gain is just fine. You know, what more do you need? So all the harmonics for me in these amps and any Victory amps are exactly what I'd hope would come out of an amp. Sometimes you have an amp that has some weird frequencies, some weird harmonics in there. These amps have none of that. These amps have beautiful harmonics. And also the gain staging is just absolutely perfect. So anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Hopefully you'll get a chance to check out a Sheriff 22 by Victory Amps. Have a great one.